Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure. Beef loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host. He's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom. Cherezy E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beefloaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer mentions his time on the West Coast or something he's selling on eBay, you drink. And if I swear or say, here's the thing, you drink. And remember, you can make all of us drink by donating $1.08. You can make one of us shut the fuck up for 5 minutes by paying $5. Or you can make My Sock Summer go solo for $50. That's a terrible idea tonight.
Definitely not a good one.
Yes. After this season, let's go to the loony bin together, friends. All right. Fellas, a big question for you to start this show off. What are you drinking? Beefloaf, what are you drinking, my buddy?
I mean, normally there are no free ads on this show, but I do have the Rev Pills that I'm knocking down. Absolutely delicious. Perfect after a game when you're drinking Anti-Hero the entire game, of which random people are buying you beers. That's what happens at the end of a season when there's nothing to play for. People come through, buy beers, and it's a good time like the rebuild years. So that's what I got for tonight, boys.
I love it. I love it. MSS, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking mystery liquid out of this Yeti that I purchased at a thrift store for $2.
Whoa.
So
wait,
do not
hold on.
Yeah.
Did you purchase the Yeti or the mystery liquid?
Funny question. Same answer. Yes.
Oh, thrift store liquor. I like.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Pipeworks Hell's Lager. That's been in my fridge for I don't know how long.
Hell is yes.
Very
Behind
fresh.
that, there's a Tecate.
There you go.
Nice.
Yes.
I wish that was platinum though.
Let's see the limes you cut for this, Treasy. Let's see how big the limes are.
I got nothing.
Full lime. You have to put an entire lime in there.
I literally showed up at my place and set this up. So I got nothing. I got 2 cans of beer. We're gonna see how this goes. We're a little tipsy. We came from the game. The game was great, as always.
Of course.
Beefloaf, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good, boys. I just got back from my anniversary trip to New Orleans. I think I put it out there on Twitter, blasted everywhere.
Oh, Beef, shut up for a second.
Okay,
Cheers, Brian. Cheers, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. Bless you. Just got back from New Orleans, my anniversary trip, as I said. 20 years of my wife. I mentioned it last podcast. Thanked her for the 20 years of bliss we've had together. And awesome trip. New Orleans is a great food town. Just put it that way. I sit down in my seat on Wednesday night when I finally get back, and I said, man, I feel so bloated and stuffed. And infamous Marv turns around and goes, yeah, you're in one of the best food cities in the world. Of course, you're bloated, feeling like you're fat right now. You eat great for 3 days, which I did. We also stayed at Harrah's. So, Treasy, you and I kind of have.
I love it.
We got free rooms at Harrah's across the country, not to brag. I found out something that is probably the demise of the old Beefloaf. So Mrs. Beef and I both like to gamble. We do different stuff. We're playing a little video poker, all this stuff. We're strolling around on Monday night after we've had dinner. Oh, man. That's not enough Husky, but
$2.
we'll have the drink. Thank
Husky.
you.
Listen, I'm not like some strip club, whatever town you live in, Husky Bardo. Shit. I'll take a drink though.
So we're roaming around the Harrah's after dinner. We're a little lit up, and I was like, oh, let's gamble, whatever. And so Mrs. B points at the those machines that have the craps, like with the ball that pops up, right? She's like, what's that? I'm like, well, I haven't never played one of these, but I saw Josh Nelson playing this in Vegas. Let's sit down and play. So I'm showing her how the bets work in craps, and it's like, you administer it yourself. Like you roll when you want to roll and all that stuff. Like, so it's really easy to show. She's like, wow, game's a lot easier to learn like that when you look at this. So that was fine, I guess. And then we stumbled upon the roulette version of this. Okay.
Oh no. Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh my God,
that's set up with like stadium seating at most places.
Oh no,
like
so we were sitting amongst other people. There was like 12 seats, and there is a live dealer there, right? So we sit down and we're like, let's play a little roulette, So we start playing, and we both like roulette, but I usually lose my ass in roulette. But here's the key for this thing. So normally in a roulette game, like they gotta settle all the chips or whatever. A roll takes like 5 minutes in roulette. Not in this game. 30 fucking seconds, okay? And let me tell you what else. This is zombie maniac drunken shit.
Because you're just pressing buttons, right?
Rebet. You press rebet, and it puts all your bets back out there.
Oh no!
This is like I could be up till 4 a.m. playing this and having no money left in the morning. Like I just realized, like my next Vegas trip, this is where my demise.
Do they have a credit card slot for that?
There should be, because I would feed every dollar in there and just keep playing. And like the Harrah's establishments, you can call up the drinks, right? You just press the things in there, right, with your card. And like apparently, I guess something new that's happening. At least it's happening in New Orleans. My wife just has an entry level card. I've got platinum status, because I'm a degenerate. And they were originally going to try to charge her for the drink. Yeah, thank you, Gordo. Appreciate you. They were going to charge her for the drink. She's like, but your husband here, he has status, so then you get free drinks. And we were wondering if like they're going to start doing that with the drinks. Whereas, like, you got to have a status to get the free drinks there. Regardless, your boy had the status. So we were on autopilot drinking and just, like, pressing rebet every single time. It was awesome.
So if they're going to do the status thing, I don't think they should do it where, like, hey, you don't get a free drink if you don't have the status. Yeah. I think it should be levels, right? Like if you just have, like, the normal, like, the gold or whatever it is, then you get like well drinks and domestic beer, right? And then you start ratcheting it up, right? Like, so if you're like the card that no one should have, because if you have it, you gamble too much.
Yes.
That should get you some real top shelf shit.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because on the last day, so my wife goes and gets beignets, and she's like, I'm going to come back. She's like, you don't have to go with me. I'm going to just go over there, Cafe Du Monde. I'm going to get the stuff, and then I'll come back and we'll gamble a little bit before we go to the hotel, right? And so I'm sitting down and playing video poker, and I got my card in there. Thank you, Carmen Mike Sachs. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Carmen.
The drink.
I noticed, like, I was like, at first I was like, oh, do I look like I'm falling asleep? And then I remembered I tweeted that. I'm like, I might fall asleep if it goes extra in.
So I'm playing or whatever, and I order up my drink, and I ordered coffee and Baileys, right? And so, like, you press through the thing, coffee and Baileys. Mrs. Beef sits right next to me, and she doesn't have the status card. And when she punches it up, it says Irish cream in coffee. It doesn't give Baileys. So I'm wondering if it already is like that, Tracy. If it's already like just
I think so.
The call brand for the platinum and up, like that, and it's so gives you more incentive. Those of us who are happy to lose money in the casinos, we're gonna benefit a little bit from this. But I kind of don't like that idea. I'm not a big fan.
Jimmy's basement Irish cream is what was in her coffee.
Kirkland. It's all gonna be Kirkland. You get a.
All in all, excellent trip, boys. Just very nice to get away. Just the wife and I for once.
First off, the part of the story I don't like about Love's story is the part where he says, I lose my ass every time I play roulette. He doesn't have an ass to begin with, so he can't lose it. So, like, it's like the worst part of the story.
Oh, man. Yump, thank you.
Thanks, Yumper. I mean, you got all the ass, Chirizi. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
You know what though? My ass usually don't quit, but it quit on me, and I lost an ass out. So I'm still a little disappointed in myself. But my sucks summer, how you doing tonight?
Off. I think it's an ass off. I'm doing great.
I don't care what it was called. My ass was out, and it was not enough. It was not enough.
Didn't win.
How you doing?
Yeah,
sorry, I cut you off.
But no, I'm having a great night. As anybody would if they've had as many Vizzies as I've had. I'm chock full of vitamins and chock full of THC. I popped a 10 meg before I went down to the park. It didn't hit till about the third or fourth inning, and I was like,
it hit in the first.
No, I wasn't that bad.
You were hitting pretty good. Yeah, no,
I've been doing fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Fine. Yeah, okay.
Don't worry about me. But so like I got this problem, and you guys have seen it. I think I have a big like thing on the back of my left ankle.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your BWC for a second.
And I'm not even.
That's not necessarily a problem.
No, it's not a problem. I have like half a baseball on the back of my ankle on my left foot. And so when I went to go get, I am 45 now. So you go for like a routine physical and they do like, they poke you and they prod you and they do all that shit. And my doctor goes down and looks at my foot and he goes, "What the fuck is that?" And he doesn't say fuck, but like he wanted to say fuck. And I was like, I don't know. I've had that since I, was a softball star out in California. I don't know if you guys know, but I used to live out west and I was really good at 12-inch softball. 16 is not really good. So anyway, I'm out there and and he goes, what is that? I go, I don't know. It's been like that for a while. I go, it doesn't really hurt, blah, blah, blah. So he goes, I'm going to order you up some x-rays. So go over and get some x-rays. So I went and got x-rays on Tuesday. And I dropped off the shit, on Tuesday. And he called me today. And he goes, Can
I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Vestigial twin.
It's my dead twin in my ankle.
Baby MSS is in there.
Kind of close. So what he says is, and this is going to be great because I'm totally intoxicated and maybe a little high. So I'm going to replate what he said. And he goes,
"Cheers, Bardo.
Bless you, Bardo. Have a good night, my friend."
Thank you. So apparently what happened, he goes, you were like engaging in some physical activity and your Achilles was trying to pull away from the bone, and it's trying to come off. Shit. What happens is fucking goddamn my ankle says, no, Achilles, fuck you. You need to stay there. So my ankle built up all this bone around the Achilles to keep it on the bone. So I have this bone wrapped around it. And I said to him, I go to the doctor, and he says, it's not going to hurt you, but if you go to get in and take care of this, we can shave it down. But it's mostly cosmetic, and plus it's a 9 to 12 month recovery if we go in and take care of this. And I was like,
now, can they make you
not?
Can they make you taller? Can they make you taller while they're doing this?
MSS will be 7 feet tall by the time he gets this done. I can't wait.
I legit heard somebody talking on a podcast, and they're like, "Listen, if you think girls are gonna like you because you're 2 inches taller, you have some real serious problems." So I do. Thank you.
That MSS is like his body is the equivalent
real
of like a tree growing around a bicycle that's been laid against it.
It is.
I was like, so I send the wife a text, and I was like, guess what this thing on my ankle is? She's like, what? I go, it's bone telling the Achilles, like, fuck you, bitch, get back on there.
The comments want you to shave the bone, though. No, the comments would like you to shave the bone.
No, not doing it. Not doing it.
Comments, you're going in the wrong direction here. You're going in the very wrong direction here. We want MSS to grow an exoskeleton. He's going to become Skeletor. Beef, I know you were out getting pussy when we were 9 years old, so you don't know about He-Man.
I know about Skeletor, though.
Skeletor was the villain in He-Man.
Thank you, Dan.
What a dickhead. I can't believe it.
Dan, you're always welcome to
sit
next to me and Beefalo because you're slight and don't have a big of an ass as Sharizi, so you can sit between us and it doesn't even cause hectic.
Now MSS, I gotta say it. I gotta say it. Like Dan's a longtime guy. I love Dan. I was a little jealous because when he first got to the game, he sat by Sean Anderson and he sat by the CHGO crew. And you know what? I think we're almost time we got to fight them dudes. Like they come and sit in our section, and then our longtime fans would go sit with them instead of sitting with us. I felt a little disrespected, not by Dan, but by them, by the CHGO crew.
You know what else I found out? Sean don't like House of Pain, and I know MSS is a huge House of Pain.
Look on his face.
Look.
Incredible.
Can you believe
man.
that?
Yeah.
Can you believe that? I almost had to fight him over Everlast the other day.
I was going to say the leader used to get down with Punky Brewster. What the fuck, Sean? Hey, Sean, you know what you can do. Sean, if you do something, and I'm talking right to you, Sean Anderson, if you do something that you're not supposed to do, you're not supposed to do it, you steal my ideas, I'm going to kill you, just so you know.
So we got this in the comments. Can you record a live ad for Yumper and Svo? I don't even need to record it. I will just say you should go watch Yumper and Svo's show on the Tainted Glove Network, especially because recently they had My Sock Summer on.
I was on.
And they talked about all the Kevin Smith movies.
Yes.
And I was jealous because they didn't invite me on to talk about the Kevin Smith soundtracks. But, you know, I'm not going to hold that against them. But nevertheless, you should go check it out because MSS, I didn't even know some of the shit that you were talking about with your meeting Kevin Smith. Like, I don't know if I was just really drunk when you told me about this or if you just never told me about it.
I probably never told you.
And, like,
do you like the really bad movies?
The things you had autographed and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I was like, I was mesmerized by you, which is weird because usually I'm thinking about muting you. So like I was like to watch something where I'm like, I'm really interested in what My Sock Summer says. It was strange. It was almost like an out of body experience. It was amazing. So definitely go check that out. And especially
Tracy, you got to mention because when you and I were walking back from the ballpark tonight, we were talking about that podcast.
We were talking
about how much we enjoy it and some of the like the layers of it and the way they do things and stuff that we like in the podcast. So yeah, definitely go check them out. Like it definitely was our pocket.
But mainly, I was mad that I didn't get to come on to talk about the Clerks soundtrack.
Oh man,
where there is a Chewbacca song.
Yes,
I mean, come on. Is there a better time to talk to me? I don't know. So you know what?
Teresa was upset that
look, Bo, we're not going to talk about your show. All right, that's what the moral of the story is. I'm mad. We're not going to talk about your
MSS. Treasy was upset that he thought you or I are going to be on there twice before he's been on there once. That's what he was a little bit worried about. And it could happen. It could happen. One of us could be on there twice.
We're much more entertaining than his big ass.
Brian, I would totally come on your non-existent podcast. We'll do a crossover with the Wet Unprotected podcast.
I love it.
And we'll talk about Kevin Smith soundtracks. I'd be more than happy to. But we gotta talk about Vulgar too, even though he just produced it.
Oh, Jackie, you're becoming one of my favorite people on White Sox Twitter, just so you know. I want you to know that. And I'm gonna talk these guys into making you come on a podcast sometime. Teresa, how you
anytime. Doing? I'm doing good. So this week I went to the Tim Anderson Sneaker Ball on Monday. So me and Scott Merkin were hanging out because we're best. He does want to come on the show. He does want a piece. He wants a piece of the 108.
We'll think about it. I don't know. MSS got to talk it over. But
if we have some kind of University of Michigan draft that we need to do, I think we can put him in. But so no, it was a great time. I ran into our guy Nick, our ticket rep. Unreal shit. And I don't want to throw him under the bus, but like he didn't.
Here I do.
All he did was say, "Man, I appreciate you guys for not bombarding me with emails when the playoff stuff came out." I was like, Nick, I don't want to know what other people are doing. I don't. And he's like, no, I obviously would not talk about anyone else, but like. He's like, I just appreciate you guys. I love that. Yeah. But also, he's terrible at ping pong.
Is he the worst person you ever seen at ping pong? Like we've been at parties where people are drunk and they're playing.
Yeah.
No, or is he just the worst person in that room at ping pong?
No, no. I mean, I was the worst person in that room at ping pong, but I didn't play. But he was thrown into the tournament. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Okay,
was like he works for the Sox, so they threw him into that tournament. And like this poor guy, like everyone in this tournament was either a professional baseball player or someone who was really good at ping pong that wanted to play in this tournament. So like this poor guy goes up there first round. I mean, like, and I like take a picture of him like, oh, my guy's gonna dominate. I mean, he scored a point. I mean, like it was like he's good he got a good enough diploma. But But there was so much to take in at this, right? Yeah. So, like, first of all, reconfirmed Andrew Vaughn not tall.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you.
Also,
not 6 foot.
Yasmani Grandal dresses like he's on Miami Vice, and I love it. I love that.
My God,
I don't love his hitting this year or his defense, but I love that he dresses like he's Miami Vice. But here's one of the weirder things, and this is an interesting thing to me. So Lurie Garcia walks in, right? First of all, it's sneaker ball. He had the best sneakers in the house.
Wow.
Respect. Just incredible. Respect. Just incredible. They were like high tops. They're almost like Chucks, but like the front was like this black rhinestone-y looking thing. And like it was just like I don't even know who makes these. They were definitely custom made. They were awesome. But I'm standing there, and I'm at kind of like a longer table. Merck's close to me, and Lurie pulls up at like this little cocktail table, like this big, just like tiny cocktail table, like, you know, like at any like open bar before a wedding or something. They got those little tables out.
Yeah.
Pulls up to that. I shit
top.
you not. Shit you not. He's there for like 2 minutes. And every Latin player on the team walks up to like talk to him.
It's
and
the
just
ring.
Like it's honestly, it was very Pauly Cicero like.
Wow.
Where like
that's
he's just there and like all these and like some of the dudes just like Elvis Andrews showed up and just hung there the whole night. Jose Ruiz was there just the whole night next to Lurie, just chatting with Lurie.
Damn.
And it was like, let me be real here. That shit ain't worth what they're paying Lurie, but it's worth something. It's worth something. There's more to the Lurie story than I think that we're seeing on the surface of like this guy who's way overplayed in the games, where like they're like, you know, his season has been dragged down by him being used in unfortunate situations that
and
he
he's been
shouldn't be in.
hurt too. A lot
And he's
of
been
it.
hurt.
I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, there's obviously something about him that attracts these players to him, and that they all really love him. Like, because I could see like if it was like, you know, like an older veteran, and you're just like you want to come and say hi, and you're just like, oh, what's up, you know? Like people hung around him. Like it was interesting to be there to see that. Like it wasn't something I expected. Also, Gavin Sheets, he looks like he's like 14 years old and he's gigantic. But he's just him and Eloy, like walking past either one of those guys, I'm just like, these are gigantic human beings. Like
Big men.
Unreal. Like Gavin Sheets' shoulders are as big as his dad's mustache. Like it's fucking wild.
I love it.
But yeah, it was a good time overall, man. Like and you know, Tim's it's really Bria. It's Tim's wife that's putting this together because it's a big charity event.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. I mean, like, and so many of the players showed up. I do want to say one guy that like I was like, this is really cool. Liam Hendriks talked to fucking anybody that would come near him.
Impressive.
Like there was a section in the back, like for the players and like I think some VIPs and stuff to go to, and a lot of players were hanging back there for a while. Liam Hendriks did not go back there. Liam Hendriks had just a gigantic bottle of Perrier, and he was just walking around like talking to anyone that would talk to him. It was pretty incredible, and that's why I just continue to love Liam Hendriks, especially tonight when they had the lead singer of Ghost throwing throwing the first pitch out to him. That was pretty incredible too.
Insanity.
But
That
yeah,
is the
just
craziest thing.
overall good time, and like, you know, it's good to see these guys like kind of out in the wild, you know, kind of together and seeing them interact. They as bad as they've been as a team, they genuinely seem to enjoy one another's company and like and being around each other. So I don't get the idea of like there's like a cancer in the clubhouse, or like there's like, oh, the clubhouse is all messed up,
or there's
like
cliques.
Yeah,
all the cliques were there. They were all hanging out.
Didn't
right?
seem like it. Like I mean, like everybody's talking to everybody. I mean, like they just, you know, Dylan Cease is much worse at ping pong than Gavin Sheets and Romy Gonzalez, but hey, he's an okay pitcher. You know,
that's right. He's maximizing his.
It's gonna be it might be a Cy Young pitcher, not that great at ping pong. Romy Gonzalez, really good at ping pong.
Wow.
Had a
Imagine
lot
if you
of
hit the
time to
ball.
practice.
Exactly.
You must have one in the clubhouse in
They
Charlotte.
put one in the tunnel, and he's just back there. He's like, "Hey guys, you want to play?" Like, no, actually, we got to go play baseball tonight.
Now, Teresi, a little inside baseball from this event. So you were saying that Liam was having the Perrier. Were there some of the guys having a couple cocktails, or you know?
Not really.
Not
Not really.
No?
Like I was.
It's game
was-
day next day.
I was
but
I was
I mean, you
keeping
could
an
have
eye
a
like
drink or
and like
two, you know?
I think like a few guys had a cocktail,
Yeah,
but like
not much though, right?
I wasn't seeing anyone really like. I was kind of waiting for Tony to come stumbling through or something like that. That's kind of what I was waiting for, or just someone to just be like annihilated, right?
Yeah,
like you
but
like
no,
that's more stuff you see at like the Sox Fest thing, or like or if you go to a game on the road and you happen into like a bar that they're in, but like it was pretty and like the thing ended at 9 and like most guys left with like their wives' girlfriends around that time.
Their wife or their girlfriend. I like that. A Mailman Jack
Wife
asked,
and their girlfriend.
Wife and their girlfriend. Mailman Jack asked who had their own paddle. Anyone walking with their own paddle?
No, unfortunately not. But like the guy who won, so it was not a player who won the ping pong thing.
Okay.
Like this guy, like he must play like 6-7 hours a day. Like I'm just like watching him. I'm just like, you're just basically Forrest Gump. Like what the hell's going on? Why are you here? Why
did you get invited to this? Like
why did you pay to come here? You should just be like hustling ping pong somewhere.
The only points he lost is when he drank too much Dr. Pepper and had to go take a piss. Otherwise, he dominated. You almost fell off camera. I love it.
Well, while you're figuring that out, why don't you pay some bills?
You got no headphones on. He didn't hear you.
Here we go.
Pay those bills, my sex summer.
All right. It's September. And while we hate to admit it, summer's almost over. It's sad, but that's reality. Next up, we might get 3 or 4 weeks of fall, like tonight. But then it's fucking winter. And when it's winter, the most important thing you need to have on your vehicle is good tires. And Mazda of Orland Park is here to help. From now until October 1st, if you buy 3 tires, your 4th tire is only $1. That's right, $1. All major brands are included, and you could read them right on the fucking screen because I am too drunk to say it. Now, I know what you're thinking. MSS, I ain't buying tires from a dealership. They charge way too much. Well, guess what? If you find a better price on an eligible tire, rest assured they'll honor it with their 30-day price match promise. What more do you need? So head on over to www.mazdaofrolandpark.com and check out all the details on this great deal. Looking for a new or used vehicle? Why not take a trip down to Mazda of Orland Park and get to know their full lineup? Give them a follow on Twitter, at ZoomZoomNation, as they give away tickets and parking for Sox games all the time. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation, 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park, 708-444-3200. Zoom Zoom, baby.
All right. Now it's time for White Sox talk.
Oh, lame.
Good. What did you want?
I gave you new ones.
You did not give me new ones.
I did give you new ones.
Yeah, there's new ones. There were new
What,
ones.
last week?
Ones.
There were the ones you didn't like, Treasy. You were like, those ones.
The Boys in the Hood one.
That's the title for this.
I know, but you should have dropped that the first one. That should be the first one.
Jesus Christ.
Drop
Your
it.
criticism.
Drop it.
I don't have it.
Oh,
what a
really?
jerk, man.
All right.
Man.
Anyway.
I spent Kikuchi.
We'll just do that instead. How's
Let's
that sound?
go White Sox.
Here we go. I got to show it for you.
I love
All
it.
right. So we're going to have to talk about this. I didn't want to talk about this, but we're going to have to talk about this. This is the Cleveland series. We got to recap the Cleveland series. All right. So let's start with Tuesday.
Why do we need to start?
You guys were there. I was in New Orleans.
We had the rain delay
in New Orleans.
We had a rough Dylan Cease outing. He just started off it just a lot of pitches. Not really a terrible outcome for him.
No.
But a lot of pitches. And then we go to the bullpen. And let's talk about the bullpen decisions here. So Jimmy Lambert is who comes in after Dylan Cease. Now, how do you guys feel about Lambo coming in this situation? And then, I mean, obviously in hindsight, the result, not great.
No.
But Beef, I'll start with you. What did you think about Lambert coming in this situation? So I'm a big Jimmy Lambert fan this year. Like him getting thrust into becoming a reliever and then sort of inching his way up into higher leverage situations. I've enjoyed that. I realized that they figured out that some of these guys who they have as starters in the minor leagues that aren't panning out, instead of spending $9 million on Joe Kelly per year, you can bring a guy up and see if they work out and give him a test run. And Jimmy Lambert's been one of those guys who has done well. However, this is not the setup that we kind of have become accustomed to when we have everyone fresh in the bullpen. And so when he came into the game, my assumption at the time was, okay, we're down some guys. Like Graveman can't go in this game. And so you think to yourself, okay, well, there's something wrong, and they're going to go with Jimmy here, so that's okay. I'm fine with that. Now, Jimmy got the tight keister right away. And I don't want to name drop, but a certain someone who used to be in the White Sox organization told us that he thought Jimmy Lambert would screw something up down the stretch in the pennant run, and sure enough, this shit happened right here. He couldn't find the strike zone. Like I'm kind of watching on the phone on the game day in the Uber back as our cab driver worked on some famous mansion in New Orleans. He was a painter in there, a haunted mansion. And he was telling us these wild ass stories about all the shit that he experienced in there. And I'm kind of like seeing, oh man, Jimmy, it's not going good. The Jimmy thing is just he's struggling. So while I'm not anti Jimmy Lambert, I wouldn't want to see him in that spot, with that big a prize on the line.
How about you, MSS?
So I think Tuesday was the day that Miguel Cairo's luck ran out, because he has thrown things out there and things have magically worked for him a lot. Like, I mean, his success rate is pretty good. I mean, it's not 100%. But his success rate has been pretty good, and it did not work on Tuesday. Tuesday was his, the coming home show. Like, I would have hated if Tony La Russa was managing that game, because the boos would have rained hard, and people have been pissed as hell. And they're not pissed as hell at Miguel Cairo because he hasn't been around as long, right? He's not been the focus point, because he would have gotten yelled at that night, because people fucking hated Rick Renneria and they hated Tony La Russa when shit like that happened. And you can't focus on the player. Poor Jimmy Lambert, he did not have it, and it did not work, and it did not get better as it went down the stretch. And Miguel, I feel like Miguel knew that Tuesday was a do or die game. If they did not win that game, this shit was over. Even though he said it wasn't over, it's fucking over. And he knew it. And so it's just been, it was rough watching that happen.
Thanks, Joey P.
Yeah, Joey, appreciate you.
So what I'll say about this is that, I didn't hate Lambert coming in because I think Lambert's been very good. And I thought they were setting up a 7, 8, 9 of Lambert, Raylo, and Hendricks. Beef, to your point, I thought Graveman was maybe unavailable.
Right.
So Lambert doesn't do well. There's some lefties coming up, and they do the handedness thing. And that's where I had the main problem is if you're bleeding and you want to stop the bleeding, it is Raylo time. He's been a really good high leverage pitcher this year.
Yeah, just bring your best guy in there who's
bring
not me,
Raylo
and
in.
that's him. Yeah.
And that's what you do. That was the surprising thing. And they brought Bummer in, and it's you're still trying to bring this guy along. This guy is he's not back. There's nothing that we've seen out of Aaron Bummer where Bummer's back. We've just not seen it. And I like Aaron Bummer. I've been an Aaron Bummer defender for the past few years, right?
You have. Yes, you have. Yeah.
But not in this situation. Why what are we doing?
Tracy, that night I'm watching on the game day before I actually pulled up the video, and I see Aaron Bummer coming, and I'm thinking about how I was messing with Josh Nelson about how that last Lance start where they brought Bummer in and he let the runner score and hurt Lance Lynn's ERA for our stake bet. And I was I was so happy Aaron Bummer's coming in because he lets all the inherited runners in.
Oh yeah.
And tonight was another example of that shit. It was unbelievable.
We were joking about that today. We're saying Aaron Bummer's the guy that everyone has worked with. We're oh, that's not my department. I can't.
And Tuesday, sure enough, he let those runs in. And I get that. So I had tweeted something about this, and someone replies to me oh, he got ground balls. He just got unlucky. Look, all right, this is going to be an old reference, but I have enough Sklansky bucks, okay? I just want the fucking results, okay? I don't need the expectations, all right? Just give me the goddamn... I'm old enough let's just get the results. I've had plenty of expectation at this point. And Aaron Bummer's just not delivering any of that. He doesn't have the strikeout stuff at this point. He just can't land his pitches like he used to. So when he gets a ground ball and it goes through the hole, I'm sorry. That's just not... We need outs. We don't need what could be an out.
Right. It's the hey, it was a 2,000 to 1 bet, but there was value there.
Right.
Like, well, yeah, but you're gonna lose that most of the time.
That's right. That's right.
And that's kind of where we're at with Aaron Bummer right now. And the fact that he came in and that was the situation, it was kind of mind-boggling. The other thing too was like we later find out that Graveman is available. And Graveman looks fine. And he has like an 8-pitch inning or whatever he did. And it's like, well, pitch him again. Pitch him another inning. Don't give me Jake Diekman.
Okay, so Treasy, this is what I thought in the moment. So I'm watching at this point. Mrs. Beef is like, she's tired. She's like, I'm gonna pass out. She's like, you want to go gamble? Go gamble. I'm like, nah, I ain't going to gamble. I'm stuffed. I'm gonna watch the end of the Sox game. So Liam handles them in the 9th inning. My thought is, look, this is do or die. It's like a playoff game. Liam should come out for the 10th
Another
inning.
Liam.
He should throw a 2nd inning in the 10th inning. And I'm also kind of miffed at this point with why can't guys throw more than 1 inning? Why can't guys throw back-to-back days? Like the handling of some of the pitchers, to me, it seems a little careful for the point in the season we're at. Like you're going to play Luis Robert when he has 1 hand, but you're not going to like throw these guys out for a 2nd inning or extend them on a day afterwards. Very bizarre. Like I couldn't figure it out. So the fact that Liam wasn't pitching, and then Graveman comes in, and I'm like, what the fuck? It should have been Reynaldo in the 7th, Graveman in the 8th, and Liam in the 9th, and we win this game. That's it. It's over. We win it. Like we don't have to see any more innings. It was like extremely upsetting, to say the least.
So let's fast forward to the next day when Tristan McKenzie just owned the White Sox. So 8 innings pitched, 13 Ks, 2 earned runs. All right, and then we'll skip to tonight.
Now wait a second. I was thinking about this a little bit, Treasy.
Yeah. So all right, go ahead.
So Tristan McKenzie is starting to become like Johan Santana, like Francisco Liriano, like those guys that just haunt our fucking dreams. And right in the beginning of the game, so you weren't there Wednesday night. I actually was back in town. I get in my seat. Tristan McKenzie's on the hill. Andrew Vaughn's first plate appearance. Josh Nelson taps me on the shoulder. He's like, Andrew Vaughn is 0 for his entire fucking life against Tristan McKenzie. And what does he do on Wednesday night against Tristan McKenzie? He sees 14 pitches. He goes 0 for 3 with 3 fucking strikeouts. Like, he has no chance against Tristan McKenzie. That's a really bad sign for the guy we're going to hook all of our hopes and chances to going forward. That's like our main hitter. The good guy on the other team. He's untradeable. He cannot hit the good pitcher on the team who's our arch competitor. This is a really bad sign to start. And it's like he was dominated in all 3 of those plate appearances. And he gets a 4th plate appearance off a reliever. And MSS taps me. He goes, he'll get a hit right here. Of course, he gets a line drive. He gets a base hit. It's like, okay, well, the guy who dominates me is out of the game. Like the guy who cucks me, he's gone. And so now I can perform again. Like it was that sad for me. Like, and that McKenzie performance is like, it's brutal. Moncada, he had his best Jake Berger appearance. He had an error, and then he had a home run. That's like what Jake Berger does every time. But it was nice to see Moncada show up kind of against the other teams. I'm going to call him the other team's ace because I think Shane Bieber might be a peg below McKenzie when it comes to this type of performance. Like, McKenzie dominated in a way that, like, they were just getting swings and misses and called strikes unbelievably in this game. I saw someone put up, I think it might have been Sean Anderson, put up a tweet. It's like, it was the best performance for that sort of thing, like called strikes and swing and misses in like the last 15 years against the White Sox. Like, just absolutely dominant performance. But it was legit. It was the only guys that kind of ever hit in these games. Other than Moncada, it was Abreu had a hit, Jimenez had a double. Sheets brought him in. It was like kind of like that. That was the group kind of producing runs, and that's been the problem down the stretches. Like, we only have a couple guys really producing against real pitchers. When they have a bad pitcher in there, that's when they get 7 or 8 runs and everyone contributes. When there's a good pitcher in there, a good starter, it's just the main guys, and we can't get anything else around it.
It was a fast-ass game, too. I was home before 10 o'clock. It was great. I mean, I wish we were on the other end of that. Like, we won real quick, and we got the W, and came home, and I was, like, a little bit happier. Didn't have to drown my sorrows in some trail mix and watching, like, Netflix shows.
Trail mix.
But, like, other than that, it was good. The one thing though that was, we knew he was going to get a hit because we were talking about new rules. We were pulling the Bill Maher in the States, and we're like, new rules. Like if you go over in like a game, the fans get to choose your walk-up song. So we're like, Andrew Vaughn, he's 0-for-3. Like he's obviously going to get a hit now because he's going to keep that stupid ass song that everyone hates.
Welcome to the show.
We asked Chirizi before we left the game tonight. We are like, Chirizi, you going to open the show with "Welcome to the show"? He did not. He didn't do it.
You get that one time a season.
Yeah,
you already got it.
You
already got
That's terrible.
So, fellas, tonight.
Chirizi, what do you think about tonight?
I didn't like yesterday. So tonight,
you were basing out hard yesterday, man. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I was working, so I was watching it on the side there, and yeah, it was horrible. They looked like absolute dog shit, similar to how they looked tonight. Tonight was again, it was bad all around. Like they just nothing's going. Like Gavin Sheets is obviously wonderful, like as always, but I mean, like. The thing that worries me is I watched them play Cleveland, and Cleveland's taking all the extra bases. Cleveland's fast as hell, and the rules for next year are pushing towards stolen bases and things like that. And it's like the Sox have nobody to take advantage of this, and everyone on Cleveland's roster is good to take advantage of this, and that's even more worrisome. That's like, okay, you can write off, like if you want to be positive, you could write off like the Sox underperformed this year. They're going to come back next year and they're going to be right in contention. All right. And you could feel good about that.
For sure.
But when you look at the rule changes that are coming and the roster construction that the two teams have, the Guardians are set up. They have a great minor league system. They have a lot of really
Tracy, not to mention they have 8 top 100 prospects.
Yeah,
I'm not saying just
they're pitching forever. Like they're a problem.
Yeah,
they're a big problem, especially and like I cannot stress enough that the rule changes are going to be more advantageous to them than the Sox by a mile. And so that's concerning when I'm watching the game tonight. When I'm watching the game tonight and everybody is just taking that extra base on the Sox. Yep. And that's another thing about having real like guys that are not outfielders playing the outfield, right? Like no one is in the right position out in the outfield. And so they just don't have it to when someone's going to go first to third or someone's going to go second to home. There's not an out, like no third base coach that's going to face us is going to be afraid to send somebody against this outfield. And these are the problems that are, they've been there, but are surfacing more and more towards the end of the season when we start to see the games in contention where teams are playing like it's a playoff game. And that's the most concerning thing to me. It's not so much like, oh, we looked like shit tonight. It's who are the guys that are going to be on this team? And we're seeing the guys that are going to be on the Guardians. It doesn't match up well. And that's problematic.
Yeah, you're totally right. They don't take a good angle to the ball. They don't charge the ball in a way, and they can't throw the way a real outfielder would be able to throw to challenge someone or peg some guy at a base. Like, oh, man, we can't do that. We can't run on these guys anymore. And truth be told, the White Sox are built in a way where they have to do that because that's the way they maximize the offense, right? The guys who are in the spots, the infield spots where you need them at second base or third base or whatever to really hit and produce, they don't do it. So you got to put random guys who you hope hit in those corner spots that just aren't used to playing those spots. I mean, you're right. It's like you gotta bash your way out of it, but they can't, and that's been the problem the whole season. And I'm interested to see the way they try to flip it, Treasy, because you're right. This team's going to be a problem, and a healthy Minnesota team is also a problem. I mean, they're dying on the vine right now because they're not healthy and they don't have the pitching. But if they do decide to reinforce, could be interesting in 2023, and we could be a third place running in their team.
That would be horrible.
And I wonder, too, how much you have a non-motivated team at this point because they know it's over. And they're not really. They know that they're not going to do anything after Tuesday. This team was not possessed. They had a little fight on Tuesday. They tried to win that game. They kept trying to score, but the last 2 nights they have not tried to do shit. Like,
no, I think after the Tuesday loss, they were done.
They're over. It's over. So like I really and Dave Barista in the comments says Sox roster remains the same in 2023. Does Hahn keep his job? And here's the thing. I don't think you can run this roster back. I saw it on Twitter today, and people are liking it, and they're saying, yeah, that's probably going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're going to see some changes next year, and I think you're going to see some hard changes. I don't expect them to go too far outside the box and maybe trade away one of your favorite players, your favorite tunnel vision player, possibly the short guy with the big booty. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I don't think we're going to see some people back that we might expect to be back.
I think you might. I think what's going to be interesting is, are they going to cut some guys that they're just like, this guy is not useful to this team, and we still owe money, but they're just not useful. That's the thing that's going to be interesting to me to see what they do. I mean, if we're looking at, if we want to point fingers at people that could be, Joe Kelly's a good example.
Yeah.
Right. Like Joe Kelly's owed a lot of money next year.
Diekman.
Are you willing to just go like, yeah, Diekman's another good example.
Yeah.
Are you willing to go like, I'm just going to go for an internal option and I'm going to cut this guy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how ballsy this front office gets. Like, honestly, if I'm the front office right now, like, and I'm just getting shit on, but I'm going to keep my job, maybe I get a little ballsy. Maybe I go a little bit out of the realm and do something crazy. Trade some guys that maybe you didn't think I was going to trade. Maybe cut some guys that you think are going to be on the roster. There's a lot of ways to go with this. But right now, instead, I'm going to play you a video that my Sox Summer hates.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on a live stream right now and haven't subscribed, make sure you tickle the undercarriage of that subscribe button and get on board. If you've already subscribed and are watching the show, talking smack about MSS's internet and generally meat gazing at Treasy E and I, please smash that like button in the face. If you are listening on the podcast feed and have never enjoyed the eroticism that is the YouTube version of this show, come to youtube.com/FromThe108 and hit that subscribe button. Our previous goal was 1,000 subscribers. We're currently at 1,100 plus. That's going to allow us to make minimum wage for about 1 hour per month if we do a full podcast schedule. You just can't beat that. So get your friends, your family, your dog, everyone to subscribe and allow the 108 to fulfill the dream of becoming YouTube thousandaires. I love you.
So you might have thought that the show was over. The show's not over.
It's not over.
How could it be?
We can't play an ad and then just go right to the credit. We can't do that.
We need more Sox talk. We need more Sox talk.
Terezi, you were giving me shit. You're like, you didn't even put more Sox talk on the graphic. And I'm like, oh, I can't make a more Sox talk graphic than that graphic. No, the other one's better though. The other one's better. The bomb with the Hawk Harrelson alarm clock is the best.
So that's it. You just set us off. We're gonna just play random shit the whole rest of it.
Ultimately, he's overexposed.
We've 100%.
He's gone.
Turned into the Jim Rome show.
Let's go White Sox.
Kikuchi.
That's it.
All right. So,
Swear to Christ, I listened to a Jim Rome show one time. I don't know if you guys know, but I used to live out west. And I was listening to the Jim Rome show, and he played a clip from The Real World because he had this guy working for him on The Real World where he's like, it's not Ryan, it's Ryan. Like, they played it for 25 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, it was so funny every time. He's like, it's not Ryan, it's Ryan.
I think the best Jim Rome show was Beef. Me and you,
Yes.
we were driving from
We're back from
Buffalo
Falls. Yeah, Niagara Falls, Buffalo
to
area,
Chicago.
yes.
And we just because like at the time, like this is pre satellite radio or even plugging your
Yeah.
phone in or anything. This is just you've got terrestrial radio, and you're in the
Whatever's
middle of
there
nowhere.
is what you can get.
So you've got national radio. So Jim Rome's on.
Teresa's driving. I'm playing the knobs, and we find Jim Rome.
And Jim Rome's talking about they're going to do like a live event in Cleveland, and so his listeners start RSVPing as things that are in Cleveland. So they're like, chlamydia has RSVP'd yes for Cleveland. And it was just all like the worst things you could think of were RSVPing yes to be in
BO
Cleveland.
has RSVP'd.
Like soap. RSVP, no. They're not going to
be there.
It's ridiculous. All right, so let's talk some more Sox. And here's what we're going to talk about.
Oh, we love you too.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about this weekend, which is starting tomorrow, the last weekend homestand for the Sox of the season.
Yeah.
What are you looking for in this last weekend homestand? MSS, I'm going to start with you.
Here's the thing, and I'm sorry to steal your.
Start with one of my things. All right.
I'm stealing your thunder right from.
I'm going to tell you about when I used to live out west.
There are people. There are people that we literally do not see unless the Sox are playing. So there's a lot of guys like a Sleepy Harold. I mean that motherfucker. We don't see that guy enough. We don't see his buddy Kevin very much either. Mayor. We don't see the mayor very much. These are people that like this weekend is our last chance to get up in these guys' grills, give them hugs, and to say how much we're going to miss them, and we'll see him soon, probably January at Reggie's for 108 Day. But potentially maybe before that, like at a whiskey tasting somewhere in the south suburbs. But we'll see. But like that's the biggest thing is it's to say goodbye to all the people because we ain't going to the playoffs. People ain't going to come through for the playoffs. So we have to say goodnight. We have to say goodbye now. This is the last chance we're going to see because ain't no one showing up next week. That Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shit. No, ain't nobody.
We'll be there.
Yes, exactly.
We'll be out there.
So if you show up that time, we'll give you a hug then too. But like most of the time, this is our boys to men moments all this weekend. We're just gonna be like, it's so hard to say goodbye, but we got to say goodbye, and we'll see you again, and hopefully we've signed some people that maybe we can make a run again. But we'll see.
Beef, what are you looking for?
Yeah, I mean, that's totally true. I mean, like, MSS stole a little bit of my fire. It's like seeing these people for the last time, people that we get in touch with. And there's some of you that we do see outside of this. We'll get together, we'll watch a Bears game or whatever, and we'll try to. But it's tough. I mean, everyone's got tough schedules. It's usually at the ballpark where we all congregate and meet each other and hang out and, see what's good with everyone going on. For me personally, on the field, I mean, I'm concerned that this might be the last time we're going to see Jose Abreu in a White Sox uniform. So I just want to see this last weekend of him. I want to see him in San Diego when we go out there, and then that last, October 3rd through 5th, I want to watch him in a White Sox uniform. Like you get to see great players for your team not that often. Like we got to see the end of the Frank ended not in a way that I loved. Paul Konerko ended the way that I loved, even though Paul was bad at the end of his career, right? I love Paul Konerko, and he finished with a flop, but that's okay. I kind of want to see those guys. I'd like to see Jose Abreu end his career here and be here. I'm just not confident that's going to happen. So I'm kind of cherishing these last few days where he's like still chasing an AL batting title, and maybe he thrills us with a last home run or two while he's still here. So like those are kind of some of the last things I'm watching as the season ends.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely on the Abreu piece, I'm watching it. Unfortunately, probably his last games as a White Sox. So be paying attention to that. The other thing I'm watching in terms of on the field is there's some young guys on this team. Are they going to make a play to stay on the team next year, right? And I'm looking specifically at like guys like Gavin Sheets, Romy Gonzalez, Sebi Zavala, right? Like, are any of these guys going to show us like, I should be on this team next year? You should be considering me a piece for next year. Not necessarily a starter. Like, we don't need to say like, oh, they're gonna fill that position that we've been trying to fill. But a guy that's like I deserve to be around. So that is the on the field. The off the field, I hear, Beef, we're going to get Josh Nelson his first Maxwell Street Depot experience this weekend. So I'm pretty psyched. I'm pretty psyched for that. I think that's tomorrow night.
That's tomorrow night.
I also am hearing rumors about the Sunday soak. And can we release this?
We can release this, yes.
All right. I think King Nam is going to be in the Sunday soak with us. But this is not a replacement for My Sex Summer. My Sex Summer is going to be there. This is a 4-man, a big 4-man soak. This is a beefy soak. There's going to be very little water.
Season. We got to do it. Last one.
Very little water left in the tub for this. We're going to displace a lot of it.
We'll get extra chemicals in there to make sure everyone's good. But yeah, that's going to be the last one, and we got to get Nam. I mean, Nam has done such a great job over the last 3 years, filling in on the soak, and he's hilarious. And we're like, let's have the last one of the year be all of us. Why not?
Let's go big
be in there. Yeah, let's
go big or go home. Although you would actually be at home, so that's weird.
It'd be 2-on-2. Teresi, just before we end this,
I was going to ask if you had anything off the field that you guys hadn't talked about that is to look forward to.
Well, the one thing I was just going to ask you for on the field was Gavin Sheets. You don't think he's earned his spot? I feel like he's earned his spot. Like he should be walking into the team next year.
I think he earned a spot on the team.
Yeah.
But I don't think he earned a spot as a starter.
I agree.
I agree. Okay, listen, I want them to sign somebody else that could be a competent right fielder all the time. But we know that might not happen.
But you know what? I would also
it's kind of hard to
MSS,
say.
Though, I would also say that Oscar Colas has every right to compete for that job too.
For sure.
So I don't think that anyone there's just other than Luis Robert. We don't have an outfielder that has earned their keep, right? And Luis Robert is a specimen. So, yes, if he's healthy, he's the center fielder.
Yep.
Everyone else, you got to compete for that. Just like I think Davis Martin has done a tremendous job coming in and pitching. Davis Martin does not have a spot in the rotation.
Right. Nor should
Even though he's if you ended the season today and you looked at what the roster is, he's the 5th starter, right? But he did not earn that spot yet. And I'm fine with him competing for it. I'm fine with them bringing in somebody and Davis Martin going Russell Wilson on him and say, get the fuck out of here, Matt Flynn. You're not a real quarterback. I'm taking this spot. Like, I'm fine with that. But I think it's you got to compete for that. Like, you didn't make the playoffs this year.
Right.
No one's got their spot, man. No one is like, oh man, this guy's so great. No, but I see the comment. He has 0 trade value, so he's on a team. Also, he has minor league options, so he might be on the Charlotte team. So, like, it's not necessarily that. Like, I'm not saying jettison.
No.
Sheets.
You think he has value?
You have plenty of options with Gavin Sheets.
Right.
You have a guy who's almost at the lead for your team in home runs and spent time in the minors this year.
Right.
He's become a decent right fielder, much more so than Andrew Vaughn has, right? Like, so he's developed there better. He's got value. He's a left-handed hitter. He could hit right-handed pitching. There's value to him. I'm just saying that doesn't promise you a role on the starting 9.
Right. Yeah. No, I get you. No, hey, listen, I think healthy competition is fine. If a Colas is going to come up and try to take a spot, fucking do it. You know, I would love to see that. And we might
sign
need
someone too.
Someone too. Yeah,
so,
let's have a log jam. I want the same thing we have with Aloy, fucking Vaughn, and Abreu. I want the same fucking thing because those 3 guys are producing. And here's what we were always worried about, right? They're like, oh my god, we got too many catchers. We got too many people for center field. We got too many lefties. Like, let's have that fucking problem because now we're in that position where we could trade maybe one of those guys, or not sign one of them, or do whatever and get something for it, right? So we can do that.
I love where you're going with this, and it doesn't. You don't even have to trade these guys, right? A lot of these guys have minor league options. There's a lot of ways to maneuver this. Having all those guys is the scenario that the good teams have when they have injuries. They don't go,
Right.
Season's over. We got some injuries. They go, this guy is like, imagine a scenario where you sign a right fielder. You put Oscar Colas in left field to start the season. Someone gets hurt. And now you're bringing up Gavin Sheets. You feel really good about going, well, yeah, this guy's hurt, but we're going to bring up Gavin Sheets. He's going to fill in just fine. We know what he can do.
Yep.
He can hit some home runs. He's going to play okay defense. We're good. Like, let's be that team. Why not be that team? Why not be the team that goes, shit, our starting pitcher got hurt? Well, we got Davis Martin.
Well,
right? Like, instead of going, we'll put Davis Martin in the starting five, and then, one of the pitchers gets hurt? I don't know. Like,
or
can we be the team with depth? Yes. Like, why not be that team? It seems like we have the pieces we have the depth pieces now. Give me the starting pieces, and then I'm good.
We're not going to risk the whole season if Austin Jackson can stay healthy. You know, you know what? We tried, guys. But we went down
White Sox baseball.
The season. Guess what you're going to get now? Jacob May. Okay, cool. Yeah. That was actually the next year. They tried out a Jacob May who went 0 for 144, and then we were like,
oh my goodness, MSS. You and I were like, I hope this guy gets a hit. We're just feeling so bad for this guy.
Just so they could send him down.
Just send him down.
So bad for him because he seemed like a really nice guy.
A little overmatched.
Just can't hit the ball and couldn't catch it either. It wasn't like he was a great defender either. Like he just was, and he's playing center field. I don't know.
All right, well, fellas, it's time for some thank yous.
Oh, baby.
Oh, man.
And I don't care if I even skipped a segment. It's time for some thank yous.
No, you're right on it. You're good.
My Sox Summer, who are you thinking?
I'm gonna default and go down to the fuck yous versus the thank yous. And my biggest fuck you this week so far has been the guy that started yelling at me because I was trying to sell 2 ticket vouchers for $10 so somebody could get 2 tickets to go to a game for $10. And he was trying to insinuate that I got these for free from fucking White Sox charities when I spent $40 on a bobblehead and they included them. And I was like, he's like, you're very scummy. This is a very scummy thing. And I wanted to let him know that I do much more scummy things than that. Not even close to
That's a given
thing. And he's like, well, you donated money. The people are donating. I was like, I donated the money to get a bobblehead. I don't need the 2-ticket voucher. So I'm just trying to hook somebody else up, for $10 to go see a game or go see a dead body, to be honest. That's what I was trying to do. So big fuck you to, I think his name was Phony LaRussa. You can suck my dick. Okay.
That's perfect.
I'm sure he doesn't watch the podcast, so it doesn't even matter. But if you do watch it and you're going to be in attendance for the drone thing, I will buy you a Vizzy. Come through. Let's hang out and we can chat about how scummy I am.
Suck my dick.
Beef, who are you thinking?
And then you can suck my dick later.
Well, boys, I mean, I got to go. I'm big on cat Twitter. I got to thank a legend in cat Twitter that's passed away this week. Okay. And that is Thurston Waffles. And Thurston Waffles, if you don't know who that is that gorgeous white cat that was in the meme where the ladies are yelling.
Yes.
And there's a cat sitting behind the plate and making a face at it. That is Thurston Waffles. Thurston Waffles passed away this week, 15 years old.
Very sad.
An incredible legend in Twitter just in general. I remember, we honored Stray Liotta on the Sunday Soak, another cat legend in Twitter. And it was really sad because a lot of joy was generated by that meme. A lot of people took that meme and went millions of miles away from where it originally started and made their own fun with it. And I just really wanted to recognize someone who created something so awesome for all of us.
Beef, question. You could go to one of these 2 funerals.
Yeah.
The Queen of England or Thurston Waffles.
Oh.
Thurston Waffles. No doubt.
100%.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. You could wear a black T-shirt to the Thurston Waffles and have a ball. You would have a ball. Plus, you can bring 6 of your cats to the funeral too, and it would not even be bad.
I went down like a little bit of a rabbit hole of the Thurston Waffles Twitter page after I found this out, and just like incredible stuff. Thurston would be on the leash, running around and shit, and just like enjoying life. And I was like, man, this cat was 15 years old, created something legendary on the internet, but was also just living their best life. Ended up succumbing to cancer, and it happens to people and pets. But it was kind of cool that there's this one piece out there for all of us to.
I'm sad that's how that cat went down. I figured Thurston Waffles went like Stu Unger, like it just like coked out of his absolute gore.
OD in the hotel room somewhere.
Yeah, just like imagining Satan talking to him for the last hours of his life as he tells his life story. That's what I wanted for Thurston Waffles. It's a shame.
Behind the meme, and then the cocaine you started.
Watching a cat do cocaine, it would have to be hilarious. It would have to be.
Catnip wasn't enough.
Treasy, who are you thinking tonight?
I want to thank. I want to thank all the people who watched this whole series, saw this meltdown, saw the season end, and then said, "You know what? It's 10:30 at night. I'm going to jump on and watch this live YouTube of 3 assholes screaming about the White Sox and drinking." And I really appreciate it. This for us, this is this is all shit we want to get off our chest, and we want to talk about this stuff. And like the fact that all of you are in there going like just interacting with us and talking about this stuff, I fucking love it, man. I can't get enough of it. Although I'm going to end the show right now.
So we can go for 108 up here if we do it.
Oh man, we're gonna be right on there. So let's go. Okay, now we can go. Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.